Hello everyone, so today I am in my garden and it's just very sunny today in England, so I thought I would do this video outside, and sorry in advance if you hear all the birds and all the wildlife noises, but I thought it would be nice to do it outside. So this week is going to be the March update of my Japanese progress sort of video series, and I will talk to you about all the things that have worked, all the things that didn't work, and all the sort of things that I've learned along the way, and it's just sort of a way to record my Japanese language learning journey. So the first thing I will talk about, and this is something I mentioned at the end of last month's video, because I was talking of the fact that I wanted to do a morning routine. And so this month I managed to do a morning routine every day. It was really exciting because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to actually, study and get down to business every morning, but I didn't manage. So what I did was I would wake up at 7:30, 7:45, depending on the days, and I would do at least 20 to 30 minutes of studying. And what I use for studying is this book, which I have here. So it's Japanese for busy people. And I've gone through 11 of the lessons in the book, so it's almost half of the book, so it's very exciting. That means I think that I've done a lot of progress and that I've actually produced a lot of studying, which is nice. And even though it was very exciting to be able to do all that studying in the morning, I have to say that sometimes it was a little bit challenging. So there are some mornings where I would just not want to study, but I still force myself. And I think it's important to know that studying in the morning is not like second nature for me and probably most people. So the only thing to do really is to just kind of do it and not really think about it, because the first thing that you kind of think of in the morning is, I just want to stay longer in bed, I just want to do this, or I'm hungry, or whatever you're thinking about. But what I tried to do was instead to just do it, not even think about it. I'm not even trying to consider or like trying to argue with my brain. I would just do it, and then it did work, I think. So in the mornings where I was a bit more limited in terms of time, then what I tried to do was to either find a time in the afternoon to do the studying or in the evening, but that was rare because I didn't want it to be an excuse for every morning. I don't want to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, it's fine, I'm not going to do it this morning, I'll do it later, and then, have the same thing later and then end up not doing it. So I tried to study exceptionally in the afternoon and the evening, only exceptionally. I didn't want to, I didn't want it to be a habit essentially. And in the mornings when I didn't have time to do any studying at all, I would also use Memrise. I sort of mentioned the Memrise course last month, but it's a course for JLPT N5. I'm not 100% sure how appropriate the course is for JLPT N5 because I think it teaches you like 200 or 300 kanji, but I don't worry too much about the exam because if I just learn 300 kanji, then that's not a bad thing. That just means I will learn more than what I meant to, which is great. It's never a bad thing to exceed your objective. Something that I've had also to remind myself this month is to not try to rush things, but actually take things slow. And what I mean is that when I have a textbook or like a course or like on an app or something, what I tend to want to do is to go very quickly because I just want to complete the course, and I like completing things essentially. And I think it's important not to go too quickly, because the issue is that completing a course doesn't mean that you will have mastered everything. So it's not a guarantee in that sense, but what's important is to actually take the time to digest information, make sure you know the vocabulary, the grammar, and all that stuff. Because if you focus on only completing the course, then you might not realize that you don't actually know the grammar very well. Maybe the vocabulary is not like well properly fixed in your brain, etc., etc. So it's important to treat language learning like a marathon rather than a sprint. It's not the speed that matters, it's really just the quality of the learning. As for Japanese for busy people, I really like the book. However, I think something that I didn't like so much is the fact that the activities are quite repetitive, which is good and bad, because in Japanese you need to practice the writing a lot, so it becomes natural, and you just get used to it. But it's also negative because you just sort of do the same thing, which I'm kind of okay with, but I know for some people that could be a little bit just not frustrating, but discouraging really. Generally speaking, I feel like this morning language learning routine has been very positive, because just for the kanji objective, I exceeded it because I wanted to know 100 kanji by the end of June, I believe. And I'm pretty sure I know about 80 to 100 kanji already. So I don't know them perfectly, I can't write them, but I can recognize most of them quite comfortably, which is good. I'm very excited about this. And obviously I will keep on practicing them. Then on top of this morning routine that I've been doing, I've also used other things to practice my Japanese. So I've been using songs. I haven't used like tons of songs, but I've used two. There was one song about the days of the week, which goes like Nichi Getsu Ka Sui Moku Kindo, which is the beginning of each of the days, and then you can just add a yobi, so Nichi yobi, Getsu yobi, etc., etc. And I've also used another song to learn the general purpose counter in Japanese. I have actually posted a video of me singing this song on Instagram, so if you want to have a look at this video, then I will link my Instagram in the description below. So now I will share with you some of the objectives I have for next month, and the first one is to find a grammar book, because it's not that the books I'm using don't explain grammar properly, but I like detail, and I think it would be nice to have a grammar book for Japanese, you know, like a proper pure grammar book, because I love grammar. If you have any suggestions, then do feel free to let me know. It'd be nice to hear from you if you have suggestions of things that have worked for you. But in the meantime, I've been using the YouTube channel Japanese Amo with Misa, and it's actually been very helpful. I think she's extremely good at explaining the grammar. She's very specific, very detailed, and I like that. But I still think that having a grammar book would be very helpful for me. And I still have 3 more objectives. So one of these objectives is to learn the vocabulary of Japanese for Busy People book 1 entirely, or at least up to where I'm at in the book, so the 11 first lessons. Then I want to start using Japanese for Busy People book 2, which I haven't yet. And I believe this book will be very good because it will allow me to practice the katakana, which is my weakest at the moment. And the last objective will be to use my Japanese, because I'm going to Japan next week now, so I'm super excited. I hope I will be able to practice a little bit and use as much Japanese as possible. And I hope that I will be able to use all the language that I've learned, and that I won't be, too shy to, talk to people. And yeah, we'll just see how that goes. And obviously that will be part of the Japanese progress for next month. I think it will be quite interesting to kind of reflect on all this, and I'm actually looking forward to doing that. So I hope to see you next month for this Japanese progress video. And I'm going to finish the video here. I hope you enjoyed the sort of background. It's a bit new. I hope the camera is not too twisted as well. And I will see you next week. Bye.